Hunter doesn't have the best reputation. The stereotype of the key-turning, backpedaling Legolas cosplayer is one that has persisted for almost 20 years, but no more. Under the hood of this apparently noob class is one of the more mechanically deep and skill-expressive kits in all of Classic WoW, and I hope these 5 little tricks will help you get more out of this genuinely very fun class. Up first, we have a pair of macros that are pretty minor but very fun. These are 2 abilities that may feel a bit underwhelming or niche, especially when cast normally from the hotbar. Fortunately, macros exist, and this one character redeems both of these abilities. The exclamation mark in any macro stops the action from cancelling out if you press it again. You can daisy chain Eagle Eyes across multiple zones, and while units eventually stop spawning in, it's still pretty funny. You can use this to scout around for PvP or, paired with a /target macro, named enemy mobs. But it's also really useful in battlegrounds like Warsong Gulch, where you can search for the enemy flag carrier from across the map. Eyes of the Beast works similarly. So long as you're in line of sight of your pet, which seems to boil down to just don't stand in a building, you can chain together casts and keep control. And before you laugh, you can actually fuck people up with this. As BM, you can sit cozy in friendly territory while your little lizard drone delivers death and terror to people halfway across the zone, and it is the funniest PvP I've done in Season of Discovery. Moving on to number 2, we have one of my favorite WeakAuras, a rangefinder. The rangefinder gives dynamic, accurate readings on what your ranges are and helps to avoid getting stuck in the miserable dead zone. This is amazing for all bosses, but especially ones like Akumai and BFD whose hitbox changes in Phase 2. The rangefinder eliminates a lot of the guesswork about where you're standing and makes consistent uptime a lot easier to achieve. If you've never used a WeakAura, simply download the add-on, then click the Wago.io link down below, copy the import string, and paste it into your WeakAuras in-game. You can then move it around wherever and you're done. Combined with an add-on like a weapon swing timer, it's also a great tool for learning to melee weave, but that's outside the scope of this video. We'll cover that someday. Maybe. Probably. Anyways, number 3. If you're a warlock and reach a level cap with your default auto attack still on your hotbars, you have taken a terribly wrong turn in life. Hunter, unfortunately, kind of needs to keep it there. But we can do better than the default toggle button, and that's this. This is a combined autoshot and targeting macro that will drop your target once it dies and move on to the next seamlessly. It is also idiot-proof for button mashers like me and won't cycle past your target if it's still alive. Further, you'll recognize this exclamation mark from tip number 1. This means that even if you beat the ever-living hell out of this macro, it won't cancel and restart your auto. I press every key like I've got the schematics for the Death Star, so this helps me. If you're a more controlled and well-adjusted human being, you can cut the exclamation mark, it's your preference. Coming up on 4 and 5, we have 2 pet tricks back to back. If you're new to Hunter, you will learn very quickly that any sort of Z-axis jump is your enemy. Going to dangerous and unexplored lands, like a platform 1 foot away from you, will either break your pet, leaving it stranded, or cause it to speedrun the fastest path back to you, regardless of how many enemies it pulls along the way. Eyes of the Beast is one way to fix this. If you need to move your pet on a Z-axis, pilot them manually with eyes, then put them on stay immediately after you cancel the channel. Another method is pet teleporting, but it only works when there's a jump, not simply a fall. You put your pet on stay first, do whatever the jump is, then put it back on follow. Your pet will then just show back up at your side. Finally, for number 5, we move to the DPS side of Pet Micro. We're getting into pretty sweaty territory here, but a good way to control what your pet is doing is to have toggle macros for their main attacks. For Wind Serpent specifically, you can have a toggle bite and a toggle breath. For one, it's a nerdy DPS gain to have your Wind Serpent run into melee at the start of an encounter, as the lizard will have slightly more uptime during the fight. It's not just minor optimization that makes toggles useful though. Focus management is also a big part of it. If an enemy goes immune, like say Gelahast or Akumai or even a paladin in PvP, you can toggle off your pet's attacks to let them rebuild focus. Otherwise, your pet will keep pumping into an invulnerable enemy and have nothing left in the tank when their immunity drops, which is a significant DPS loss. Really niche here, but some elemental enemies are resistant or outright immune to your pet's magic damage, so it can be useful to toggle a physical attack against them instead. Microing pets is sadly half the battle as Hunter, but hey, it's also a good part of the fun. Figuring out how to optimize these stupid robots is a valuable or at least interesting part of the game. If you want to learn more about the basics of Hunter pets in Season of Discovery, gander this video I made. Godspeed, gamers.